Welcome into Steelers Talk. I am your host, Jack Sperry, and today I have my Day 6 practice report for your Pittsburgh Steelers there in Latrobe at Steelers Training Camp. Second padded practice, and honestly, guys, I think I got more takeaways from this practice than I did in the first padded practice yesterday morning. There's lots to talk about, so we're going to get things going here in the meantime. But before I do, make sure you guys stick around for a big Cole Holcomb injury update from Jerry Dulac. So you're not going to want to miss that. Make sure you stick around to the end of the show to get that news. And don't miss a thing here, guys. When it comes to Steelers Training Camp, we have daily in-depth practice reports every single day at Steelers Training Camp. Even if I'm on my day off, I'm going to be going to Pittsburgh this weekend. I'm going to give you guys extensive content when I'm on vacation this weekend, guys, because I am dedicated to you guys, the Steelers fans here on YouTube. So make sure you guys click that subscribe button and join the largest Steelers YouTube channel currently on the platform. Okay, now let's get to some roster moves here before we get to practice. Jonathan Marshall, the defensive tackle, was cut, and then Tariq Black, the wide receiver out of Texas and Michigan, was signed to the team, and he was formerly with the Steelers before. They bring him back after a workout last week. Now we can shift to kind of what happened at practice, and Russell Wilson yesterday was very limited, just a couple of reps, and today was a very similar workload. He's still not sprinting. He's still not running with the team in warm-ups, and he's only passing in the 7-on-7 portion of practice, and they only have one portion of 7-on-7s, and in that portion, and in that period, Russell Wilson was just 3 for 6 today, and he had a sack, and he had a near interception to Patrick Queen. So today wasn't as good as yesterday for Russell Wilson, where he went a perfect 6 for 6. So right now, he's sitting at 9 for 12, which is generally pretty good, but today was definitely his worst day out of the 2 days to this point. But then along with Russell Wilson, who didn't have his best day, neither did Justin Fields, who took a big step back from his really star-studded performance yesterday in the first padded practice. He was taking a lot of sacks. He had some very inaccurate footballs. He was holding onto the ball for way too long, which contributed to a lot of sacks today. The consistency just wasn't there today, and it hasn't been there for Justin throughout this camp. Now, on Tuesday, it was unbelievable what he did yesterday, man. He was consistent. He was getting the ball out quick. He was going through his progressions. He was running the football effectively. Yesterday, he put it all together, but in the other 5 practices during training camp so far, it's been shaky to say the least. So one good practice out of 6, and all I can hear about on Steelers Twitter is that this guy's competing with Russell Wilson for the starting job. Well, if this guy is only going to give you one good day out of every 6 practices, I don't know if that's who you want as your starting quarterback, at least not right now. However, Justin did show another good day of rushing the football with the read options, getting out there, using his speed. You can tell that Justin Fields is a legit rusher of the football, and you can see why he has been so valuable in that portion of his game throughout his time in his career with the Chicago Bears previously and now heading to the Pittsburgh Steelers. And something that was really good to see is that even though Justin Fields did take a hit when he pulled a read option towards the end of practice today from Landon Roberts, his offensive line came to his defense, and it started a major brawl. And this is a good thing for the Steelers, in my opinion, because you look at this offensive line, they're willing to go to bat for their quarterbacks, not just Justin Fields, but I'm guessing also Russell Wilson. If there's an opposing player that goes up to Russell Wilson and roughs him up, I have no doubt in my mind that this offensive line is going to stand up for their guy. They need to be smart about it. You can't draw undue penalties or anything like that, but I do love the mentality that this new Steelers offensive line is bringing to the table. Now predict it for me down there in the comments section. Will Russell Wilson be back to a full schedule this week? At some point this week. He's just taking limited reps right now, still dealing with that minor calf injury. Do you think he practices in full by the end of the week? Give me a yes or a no to predict it for me on today's show. This is going to be the pinned comment on today's program, so make sure you guys go down there when the ad break hits here in just a couple of seconds and give me a yes or a no. So for me, guys, there was a lot of standouts at Steelers practice today. T.J. Watt, Cam Hayward, and Minka Fitzpatrick all had days off. So did Isaac Seumalo, the left guard. So there was lots of opportunities for younger players to get in there get first-team reps. So we'll start with a rookie in Payton Wilson here, the inside linebacker, who is flying around as a pass coverage player. Now, he's taken some lumps in run defense, but not many. He's looked pretty good overall. But as a pass coverage linebacker, he's flying all over the place. He's forcing incompletions. He is covering up those tight ends in man coverage. This guy looks like he can do the job from day one. And with the Cole Holcomb injury update that we're going to get to later in the show, it seems like Payton Wilson is going to have to be asked to play sooner rather than later. So I definitely think this is somebody that's going to end up being an absolute steal for the Steelers, and he has been unbelievable in camp to this point. And then another rookie that has been balling out in Steelers training camp so far this year is Beanie Bishop Jr., the slot cornerback, undrafted free agent out of West Virginia, guys. And Mike Tomlin, during the one-on-one periods today, he had Beanie go up against the big dog himself, George Pickens, for 2 straight reps. And guess who won those reps, guys? It was Beanie Bishop Jr. sticking with GP, forcing him out of bounds, forcing incompletions. This guy, he's got the speed, he's got the instincts, and he's got the competitive fire that you look for in that starting slot cornerback position for this defense. I think he's done a fantastic job through these first 6 practices, and that continued today as well. But another slot cornerback defender that has played really well in camp to this point is Grayland Arnold, the slot corner that they got in free agency right before they signed Cam Sutton. And he's got the most interceptions in camp. He's got 2 interceptions already through the first 6 practices. He had 1 today against John Rice Plumlee, the other undrafted free agent quarterback here. And Arnold's been really, really good, man. He's flying around. He's forcing incompletions. He's been very, very impressive. So just because they got rid of Josiah Scott doesn't mean there's not a competition in the slot cornerback room. Beanie Bishop Jr. has been definitely holding his own. He's been fantastic. But watch out for Grayland Arnold to potentially make the roster as well. Now, coming up here on Steelers Talk, the biggest winner of the day. It might surprise you guys, all right? So make sure you guys stick around for who I thought was the biggest winner of Day 6 of Steelers Training Camp practice. But before we get into that, let's have a word from our sponsor here at Game Time, which is the fastest and easiest way to buy tickets for the sports, music, comedy, and theater in your area. With killer last-minute deals, all-in prices, views from your seat right on the app, and their lowest price guarantee on any ticket to any event, Game Time takes the guesswork out of buying tickets to whatever event you choose. And Cassie and Coop know more than anybody that I love to get tickets last minute to these events, guys. If I'm trying to go to an NBA basketball game or an MLB baseball game or a concert, I usually like to wait for the day of, when it's kind of a spur-of-the-moment thing. And Game Time rewards me for that by having flash deals right before the event, so I get even lower ticket prices the longer I wait to the event. What I love about Game Time and their app is that you get the lowest price guarantee on any ticket to any event, all-in pricing, so you don't get slapped with crazy fees at checkout. And again, those flash deals really make it easy if you are a last-minute shopper like myself. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time today. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code CHATSPORTS for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code CHATSPORTS for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last-minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. All right, now we get to Larry Ogunjobi, who I thought was the biggest winner of the day. I thought that Ogunjobi was just flying around, and he had multiple pressures, and he got multiple would-be sacks on Justin Fields and the first-team defense today, man. I think it was either 3 or 4. And then he also had a forced fumble on Justin Fields today. So he was flying all over the place today, winning in a bunch of different ways. He was bullying Zach Frazier, the center, today with that bull rush that he has. And Larry Ogunjobi shows that when he's healthy, he's absolutely worth every bit of that money and that contract that the Steelers are paying him right now. And what's scary about Larry Ogunjobi, guys, is that he's arguably the worst pass rusher on the Steelers defensive line, and he's playing like this, all right? So this just shows you how good the Steelers pass rush will be this year, and it was a really good day for Larry O. Then we get to Van Jefferson, who I think had a really, really good day today. He had a one-handed touchdown pass today, or touchdown catch in 7 shots, and he's just generally getting open more than I expected him to be at this point. You know, what I heard from OTAs is that he looked pretty unremarkable, but heading into camp here, he's getting open quite a bit, and he's making some flash plays with Justin Fields throwing him the football, including, again, that one-handed touchdown catch in the end zone today. So good job on Van Jefferson really solidifying his spot in this wide receiver rotation to this point. Then another receiver that's been just phenomenal, especially in terms of his route running, Calvin Austin III. I think that Matt Canada kind of viewed Austin as more of a gadget player in his offense. Arthur Smith sees him as a true route-running threat, and he is proving that at Steelers practices right now. He's flying around. The speed is legit. He's so hard to grab a hold of because he is so tiny. Now, obviously, the catch radius is smaller, but hey, man, Justin Fields and Russell Wilson can put an accurate football on Calvin Austin III. He's going to be a very dangerous weapon for the Steelers offense this year. Then we get to rookie right tackle Troy Fautanu, who I think has really grown throughout the process of camp so far. Yesterday, first day in pads, he went toe-to-toe with T.J. Watt, winning some reps against the perennial defensive player of the year. And then today, he pretty much shut down Nick Herbig. Herbig did get a sack when Fautanu was not in practice, but Fautanu looked absolutely phenomenal today, guys. He's looking like the real deal, and I can't wait to see him on the field for the Steelers this season. And then speaking of the Herbigs here, let's go to Nate Herbig, who I thought had a really good day in practice today. He's holding up against the bull rushes. He's doing a good job in run blocking as well. And honestly, if I'm being completely honest with you guys right now, I think Nate Herbig is playing better than Zach Frazier, the second-round rookie out of West Virginia. Herbig's holding up better against bull rushes. He's doing a better job moving the line of scrimmage in the run game, and Frazier is struggling with the bull rush against guys like Montravius Adams and Isaiah Loudermilk, all right, guys that are on the interior. They're kind of bullying Frazier a little bit, and he's going to have to get used to the physicality and the strength level of some of these interior pass rushers. So right now, I actually give the inside road here for Week 1 starting center to Nate Herbig, who has been a very pleasant surprise for the Pittsburgh Steelers this offseason heading into the year. Now, before I go here, I do have some injury updates here from the team. There's some people, dealing with some bumps and bruises. We'll start with David Perales, the edge rusher who left practice today with a knee. We're hoping and praying that he's going to be okay and he can get back on the field because bubble players like this, the biggest thing for them is that they're on the practice field making their case to make the roster. Kyron Johnson, another edge rusher, did not practice today with hamstring tightness. He's had a very good camp to this point, so we hope that he can get back out there as soon as possible. Roman Wilson, we did get word last night that he is considered week to week with an ankle. We also know that the Steelers are going to be very careful bringing him back from that ankle sprain that he suffered running a jet sweep in 7 shots yesterday in the first padded practice. So when he'll be back, we don't know, but I think he will be back for Week 1, and that's the expectation at this point. Then we get to kind of the bad news here, which is that Jerry Dulac tells a radio program that Cole Holcomb is nowhere close to playing this season, guys, or not playing this season, playing Week 1. So it's going to be a little bit of time here for Holcomb. I would be surprised if we see him during training camp, and honestly, I'd be surprised if we see him before, through the first quarter of this season. So we're really hoping and praying that Cole Holcomb can get back from that gruesome leg injury he suffered last year. But to this point, it's not looking good for the inside linebacker. So get well soon, Cole Holcomb, man. If you want to send those positive vibes, you want to send some love to Cole Holcomb right now, spam those 55s down there in the comments section for me, man. I greatly, greatly appreciate all of your guys' support. Make sure you guys spam those 55s for me. We also have some Twitter shout-outs today. Big shout-out to Gus Miller, Gina Toby, Doug Davis, Brian Jones, Michael Bobrick, Mupp, Mr. Bias, Pedro, Ray Grant, and Don Quixote. If you guys want to hit me up on Twitter for daily Steelers practice updates, I'm at Jack_Sperry. And you can find me on IG and TikTok at SpareDog.football. That'll be it for today's practice report, guys. Really do appreciate all of your support. Make sure you guys click that subscribe button if you haven't already. And until next time, here we go, Steelers.